Hello, everybody out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and I'm back. That's right, I'm back after a hiatus that I needed. I do this in my spare time, okay? So I do have a life. I've got commitments and stuff, and, business, that kind of thing, But I try to find time to do this, okay? This is a hobby of mine. It's a hobby I enjoy. I enjoy torturing myself with some pretty crappy chick flick movies, okay? But it gives me something to talk about. It gives me something to share out there, okay? There's a lot of things, growing up, I didn't spend too much time as a child or a teenager really thinking about why women act a certain way, why girls act a certain way and boys don't. For me, I never really thought about it. I knew there was differences, but to me, growing up, I'd be like, okay, they're bringing back Cinderella to the movie theaters. Okay, well, I don't care. Oh, it's a cartoon. Okay, it's for kids. It's about a princess and stuff, and the glass slipper and all that. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I don't really care. I want to watch Transformers, and that was it. I never thought like, okay, why would they make a movie about a princess and a glass slipper and a prince that falls in love with her and what do you call it? A fairy godmother. Why would they do that? I never even thought about it. Okay, as I got older, you start thinking about stuff like that. Like, why was that made? Why am I even looking at it? Okay, well, it was made because it's a classic. Why is it a classic? Well, Disney made it a long time ago, and it related to a lot of the audience, and they want to see it again. Okay, well, why did it relate to the audience? Okay, well, because bottom line is girls liked it. Why did girls like it? Well, because it has to do with, growing up poor, and your jealous sisters keeping you down. And all of a sudden here comes this super rich, super good looking, super charming. That's in his name, charming, for Christ's sake. Super charming guy, 6'2", hung to his shoe, ripped abs, square jaw, super, super rich, straight. No exes, no bastard kids, nothing like that, Okay, and the only thing that's missing in his life is true love. Oh, well, that's a fantasy for girls. That's a fantasy for women. It's a woman's fantasy. Of course, they're going to teach their daughters to want that too. Of course, it's biology. Women want, they're attracted to men, on a basic fundamental level, a man that can provide and protect them, and turn them on, They want the whole today. They want the whole thing. You got to be good looking. You got to be rich. You got to be charming. You got to be protective. You got to be good in bed. You got to be all these things. They want everything. That's what they deserve. And something like Cinderella kind of like ingrained that into them. Okay, they didn't care about what me, a little boy, thought about Cinderella. The movie wasn't made for me, and I didn't care, so it didn't matter, right? But as you get older, you start going like, well, what kind of message is this sending little girls? Why are the girls the way they? Oh, it's because they watch shit like this. That's why. They believed it. Whereas boys, our children's movies tend to be more about getting things done, about doing something important with your life. You do that, and the women will come. Okay? You establish yourself. You distinguish yourself. You do something important. You become good at something. Or you do something relevant, like you save a skyrise from terrorists, okay? Or you rescue your daughter from a bunch of mercenaries, okay? Or something like that. You do something important. You rescue POWs in Vietnam, okay? You catch a serial killer. You do something important, and the women come. You do nothing important, the women don't show up. So basically, our movies are telling us that you got to do something important with your life. And if you do that, women are naturally going to be attracted to you. Okay, that's what the guy movies are telling us. But we still have to get up off our ass and do something, or else, we're not going to get women. Now, whereas these chick movies are telling you you're born perfect. Okay? You're born perfect. And a high-value man is going to want you. Okay? Just because you're born that way. Okay? You're entitled to it. You deserve it. You see what I mean? And that's kind of what used to be out there, and it's still the same. The only difference is that today, the movies today are kind of more like, yes, you can attract a high value man, but what's more important than a high value man is turning yourself into a high value woman. And by that, you have to become a man. Okay, like I said, men are being taught as a young age that they have to do something important with your lives, they have to succeed at something, they have to accomplish something in order to be respected, in order to be desired. Okay, well now feminism, which came out like in the third wave feminism. Okay, this came out like in the late 60s. Okay, thanks to Gloria Steinem and the CIA and all that kind of crap. All right, and they're promoting the idea that women don't need a man. They don't need to be housewives. They don't need to be mothers. Okay, they don't need to stay at home and take care of the kids. They can go out there, they can climb the corporate ladder just like men, and they can get those high price jobs. They can earn their 6-7 figures just like men do, forgetting that most men can't do that. Okay, they can do all that. They don't have to have kids. The career is the most important thing. You have to produce. You have to accomplish something. That's more important than having kids and cleaning your house and changing diapers, and being married. Okay, screw all that noise. Okay, the career comes first, because with the career comes freedom. Now you have money. You have to depend on your husband's money. You have money to do what you want. You can travel Europe. You can go to Bali. You can go to India. Okay, you can spend 6 months, in Rome and just fucking stuff your fat ass on exotic food. Okay, you can do all these things because you don't have to worry about a husband. You don't have to worry about kids. All you got to worry about is yourself, because you come first in your life. Okay? Fuck everything else. If you're married, get a divorce, okay? You need to take care of you. You are what's important, nothing else. And if you really, really, really absolutely have to have a guy, and you really, there's something about you, some disgusting virus that you have that makes you want to reproduce, then you can do that in your 40s and 50s, okay? You don't need to do it right now. You don't need to do it right now. Right now, you need to take care of you. You need to put yourself first for a change. You see what I mean? It's that whole idea that I come first. I come first. Because that's how men do it. No, actually, no. Men are raised to believe, or at least they were back when they had dads around. They're raised to believe that their wife and their kids come first. That's what they're raised to believe. My wife and my children come first. I slave for them. You see what I mean? Feminism tells women, no. Hell no, your husband don't come first. You come first. You come first. Men are taught happy wife, happy life. You see what I mean? That's the difference. That is the difference. You want to know why men aren't getting married anymore? Because they don't agree with it. They got tired of being lied to. They got tired of their single moms telling them when they're little boys that if you take care of your wife, she will take care of you and you will be happy. You make your wife happy and she'll make you happy. Okay? This is coming from the same woman, okay, that's fucking Big Dick Richie behind dad's back. Okay? You see what I mean? So the boys are getting mixed signals today, but the women are not getting mixed signals. They're getting straight line, straight arrow to their thought process, okay? Go out there and get yours. Get yours. Fuck as many guys as you want. Go party. Go traveling. Make that money. You don't owe any man anything. Hang out with your girlfriends. Live the whole Sex of the City lifestyle. Just fuck everybody that you want to. Okay? And then later on, okay, when you're in your 40s, 50s, then you can settle down and think about a family, if that's still what you want. Okay? That's the lie. That's the lie that they've been telling women. Okay? And so one day I just started to think, like, why do women believe this shit? Now, they're not going to say it out loud. They're going to say stupid shit like, oh, women want freedom. Okay, freedom. Freedom from what? Responsibilities? You see what I mean? How the hell is the world supposed to repopulate itself if women don't want to have kids? How the hell is the world supposed to, the human race supposed to keep going if men don't want to get married? You see what I mean? Only one of us can carry a baby in their stomach, okay? And it sure as fuck ain't me, so it kind of narrows it down. You see what I mean? That's not sexism. Okay, that's biology. But fucking these movies, these woke fucking chick flick movies, throw that out the fucking window. And I got to thinking, like, why, how did this change? How did equality become, no, I want to be a man? Because that's what this is. They're basically establishing gender roles, masculine gender roles towards women, and selling them this lie. If you can be like a man, they'll make you happy. Okay? No, men aren't fucking happy just doing that. Do you understand? Happiness is an internal thing. It's not about where you vacation. It's not about how much money you make. Okay? There's plenty of rich people that are not fucking happy. Look at all these goddamn celebrities that are dying of drug overdoses and suicide attempts and stuff. Okay? And they got everything. They're not happy. They're not happy. What's the point of being a super, what's the point of being a fucking Tom Brady, okay? Best quarterback in the history of the fucking NFL. Super rich. Endorsement deals out the ass. Super talented. Super respected in his profession by his own teammates, by other teams. And on top of that, he's fucking good looking as shit too. Fucker looks like a Ken doll. And yet his wife still fucked around with him with a goddamn karate instructor, for Christ's sake. You see what I mean? So what's the point of getting all that if your wife is just going to fuck around on you? What was the point? You see what I mean? It kind of defeats it. You're supposed to accomplish things so that you can get a high value woman, okay? But a woman that cheats on her fucking husband is not high value. A woman that fucks around is not high value. Okay, a woman who earns a shitload of money is not high value. You know why? Because she's only going to be with a guy that earns more than her. So the more money she makes, the less chances she is going to find a guy. But let me tell you something. There's one thing I do know about women, okay, is they don't fucking like paying the fucking restaurant check. Okay? They don't like doing it. I mean, they'll do it for a while, but eventually they're going to be like, you know what? I think I should date a guy that'll pay the fucking restaurant check instead of me always doing it. You see what I mean? And that's just human nature. That's just women's nature. They want a guy who can provide. It's true. They at least lead that. I mean, they'll cheat on their provider husband for a guy that can satisfy them in bed. But usually the guys that can satisfy you in bed aren't the guys that are going to stick around. If he knows how to make a woman come, that's because he's making other women come, not just you. So you're not going to be able to latch on to that guy. You're not going to get him to commit. And if you do get him to commit, he ain't going to pay the fucking restaurant check, that's for sure, because he don't have to. Okay? And he's not going to commit to you. I mean, he might, but he's going to fuck around, is what I'm trying to say. He's going to fuck around. Okay? So you're better off with a guy that makes you come every once in a while, but at least he's devoted to you. At least he'll fucking pay the bills. He ain't going to fuck around and he ain't going to beat you up. You know, but women don't want that. They want the guy that gives them the feels. But usually those guys are not the same guy that's going to fucking commit and provide for you. You know? I know, it's weird, but there's still guys like that out there. Okay? You know, and I started wondering, why are women so fucked up? Why can't you see this? Well, why is everything that women think about filtered through their fucking feelings? You know, your feelings are fucking stupid. Your feelings are stupid. There's times you gotta use your fucking brain. This doesn't know anything. This just feels. This is where you're supposed to be fucking doing your deductive reasoning. And chick flicks throw this out the fucking window. It's all about this. It's all about what am I feeling? You see, I feel like being a boss. I feel like being empowered. I feel like being able to do whatever the hell I want. Therefore, because I feel it, it must be the right thing to do. Okay? And these chick flicks fucking reaffirm that. And so I started wondering, where does this come from? Where does this come from? You know, I was a big fan. As you know, I'm a big fan of Sex and the City. I've reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City. It's on this channel. Okay? And to me, that was bad enough. Okay, here's absolutely. Don't get married. Don't have kids. You know, have as much sex as you friggin' want. It doesn't matter because eventually when you do find a man, he won't care about your past. Right? Only a low value man doesn't care about your past, ladies. So yeah, but I know, but no chick flick's gonna tell you that. Of course not. Of course not. All right, that's why you got my channel. So I've already seen all that, you know, and I'm trying to figure out like why do women so fucked up? Why do they keep doing these things? Okay, is it the movies they're watching? Yes, I think it is. The TV shows and the movie. It's worse today. But where's like ground zero? Like where did all this start? What was that one movie that women watched and said, yes, that's what I want? Okay, now Sex and the City was more of a character study. You had 4 different women with 4 different personalities, all of them fucking everybody in New York. Okay, you know, under the excuse of they're trying to find the one for them. Okay, that kind of shit. But where do women just have the idea of like, you know what? I know I've been married for 15 years, but you know what? Fuck my husband. I just want to go out and get fucking laid. I just want to go out there and live. I don't want any attachment. I just want to fuck as many guys. I want to be on by the beach. You know, I want to be sipping my pina coladas. I just want to go out, you know, and just do whatever the fuck I want and fuck everything. Where does that come from? Why do so many women that are middle-aged do that when they're having their midlife crisis? You know? I don't want to stay in this fucking house with these fucking kids, with this fucking man that I've been married, that snores, you know, that I've been married to for 18 years. Fuck this noise. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older. I barely have my looks left, and I just want to go out there and just get laid and just get fucked and just have time, just party. It's like gonna be like an endless summer. You know? I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Rome. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to the Bahamas. I want to go to all that kind of shit, right? Where does that come from? Well, I'll tell you where it comes from. This fucking movie right here. This is the movie. That's why I'm so fucking pissed off, because I watched this movie when it first came out, forgot about it. Okay? Didn't really give it much thought. Girl made me fucking watch it. I sat through it once. That's it. Barely remembered it. Okay? Barely remembered it. But now I'm watching now with older eyes. Okay, this movie came out in 2010, okay? And this is ground zero right here. This is the reason women are so fucked up, is this goddamn movie right here. Okay, Eat, Pray, Love. Okay? The fucking bitch that made doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. This is nothing but fucking selfishness. This is nothing but fucking unaccountability. Do whatever the fuck you want and fuck the consequences, because you deserve it. That's what this fucking shit is. You want to know why guys aren't getting married? Okay, you want to know why women are so fucked up? Right here. Right fucking here. This woman, what the fuck, Elizabeth Gilbert. This fucking sold you a bag full of shit. You believed it because in the beginning it felt pretty fucking good. Until the fucking bill, the check became due. And guess what? Just like in everything else in their life, they expected a man to pay for it. A man to pay for her bad decisions. Ooh, yeah, unaccountability. Goddamn, that word. It's like fucking kryptonite to women, especially the feminists. Especially rich, white, entitled, New York, libtard women. Okay, accountability is just the fucking kryptonite. It makes them shrink. Ah! Just like that. Once the fucking check becomes due, oh, they don't want to pay. Why are you mistreating me? That's misogyny, making me pay for my own mistakes. Exactly. That's when the bitch comes out. That's when the pussy gets exposed. Okay, that's when the fucking dildo that she had strap on that she had on that she was showing everyone. That's when it fucking comes off and you realize there ain't nothing there. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, and this movie is a big reason for that. All right, Eat, Pray, Love. This movie came out in 2010. Okay, 2010. The book came out in 2006. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the fucking author here. Okay, this piece of shit woman. Her name is Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert. And yes, Julia Roberts plays Elizabeth Gilbert in the movie because she doesn't write fiction. She writes from her own experience, her own bullshit entitled experience, okay? She is a feminist, okay? Which means that right now she's a fucking old lady living in a house with a bunch of fucking cats, okay? Yes, that's true, all right? Elizabeth Gilbert, okay? Now, her claim to fame was, first of all, she's been divorced twice, okay? Her first husband, his name was Michael Cooper, and they got married in 1999, and they divorced in 2002. Why did they divorce? Because she was cheating on him. Of course she was. She was cheating on him with a fucking actor. who was really into like Hinduism and shit, right? Who looked exactly like James Franco. Unbelievable, yeah. And yeah, she was fucking him in order to get the courage. See, she couldn't just divorce her husband because he didn't do anything wrong. He supported her throughout her writing career. She was a journalist. She was writing stories and selling them in magazines, stuff like that. And her husband supported her, financially supported her, took care of her, everything, while she built up her career. And then she realized, you know what? I don't like being fucking married to this guy. Okay, I want to go fuck. All right, I want to be with somebody else, okay? And so she started an affair with this younger guy, who's a good-looking guy, actor, okay, who fucks a lot of women because he's an actor, good-looking actor, right? And that, having her orgasms with him gave her the courage she needed to divorce her husband, okay? She had to fucking be getting laid somewhere in order for her to get the courage to divorce her husband, okay? That's the kind of woman this person is, Elizabeth Gilbert, all right? So she was married to him. Okay, divorced him in 2002. Okay, and then in 2007, she married this guy named Jose Nunez, who she met in Bali. Okay, yeah, who kind of looks like, in real life, looks nothing like Javier Bardem. Okay, but apparently, yes, this movie is based on Elizabeth Gilbert's real life. Okay, and this ain't the first time she's done it, but I'll get to that. All right. Jose Nunez, okay, who's supposed to be Javier Bardem, okay? So this movie is based on her own experiences. All right, now this is what happened, all right? How did she become famous? Who the fuck gave her money, okay, to write this book? Well, like I said, she was a struggling journalist. She was married to this guy, Michael Cooper. I saw a picture of him online, and yeah, he looks like a beta male cuck. Yeah, he looks like the guy that sits in the cuck chair while his wife is getting filled out, okay, by Tyrone, having her orgasms by Tyrone while he's just sitting there in the cuck chair jerking off his little dick. Yeah, that's what he looks like, okay? Anyway, so, yeah. So, they were living together, they were married, whatever, blah, blah, blah. During that time, right before that, in the late 90s, she was writing for magazines, okay? She wrote a semi-autobiographical story in a magazine called Coyote Ugly. Yes! She wrote Coyote Ugly, which they later on turned into a fucking movie. I have seen that movie, okay, with the girls, Tyra Banks and all them dancing on the bar and shit. Yes, she wrote that, okay? I saw that movie once. I have not seen it since, okay? Honest to God, I wasn't that attracted to those women. The only one that really like I was attracted to was Maria Bello. She played the saloon owner, but she's a freaking lesbian, so fuck that bitch. Anyway, yes, I did see Coyote Ugly. She wrote that. They turned it into a movie, and that's what really started her right there. Okay, then she divorced her husband, blah, blah, started fucking all these other people, all right? Well, her publisher asked her, what's your next book going to be? And she decided that she was going to write a book called Eat, Pray, Love, okay? The actual title was called Eat, Pray, Love, One Woman's Search for Everything Across Italy, India, and Indonesia. Yes, that is the title of her book. That's what she pitched to her publisher, and because Coyote Ugly was so successful, they gave her an advance. She used that advance to fund this fucking Euro trip, okay? This trip to Italy, to India, and to Bali. She used her advance to fund it. She had no idea what she was going to experience. Okay, she knew she had to divorce her husband, and she knew she had to break up with her fucking lover, her boy toy, but that is where the money came from, for her to go out of the country. Okay, and get her experiences. I mean, in other words, get her back blown out. All right, that's where it came from. All right, so that's what she decided to do. Okay, so she is a self-proclaimed slut. She has admitted that she's very promiscuous, that she fucks a lot of guys. Obviously, she has no relationship with her biological father. Okay, she fucks a lot of guys. Okay, she is friends with Candace Bushel. They're both rich, white fucking New Yorkers who were writers at the same time. Sometimes they worked at the same magazine as freelance at the same magazines and stuff, so they knew each other. So yes, she was one of Candace Bushel's fucking girlfriends. They used to go out to clubs and fuck a bunch of guys and compare notes, okay? I don't think she was in Candace Bushel's inner circle. She wasn't like the real life Samantha or nothing like that, but they did know each other. They both had kind of the same job. They're both cut from the same cloth, rich, entitled fucking New Yorkers, feminists, all that kind of fucking shit. Just fuck everybody. And be proud of it. No slut shaming, that kind of fucking shit. Because in real life, we know men never slut shame women, right? Okay, so yeah, so that she's one of them. She's one of those Candace Bushel, Sex and the City types. Okay, she discovered, and this is I'm quoting her here. She discovered that Men did not want to keep her. This is her own words. Men did not want to keep her. They would lose interest in her quickly. You see, on Sex and the City, it was always the women carrying him. They were all the ones that broke it off with the guy. It was always the women that broke it off the guy. Okay? One of the women would meet a guy, she'd get turned on by him, she'll fuck him, and then 5 minutes before the episode's over, she'll find something wrong with him and call it off. Next episode, same fucking formula, over and over again. All right? Well, what Elizabeth figured out is that, she was fucking all these guys, but none of them would commit to her. They wouldn't give a shit about her. They wouldn't ask her about her feelings. They wouldn't ask her for a second date. They wouldn't, none of that. They would fuck her. They would pump and dump her. Okay? And she found that a little annoying. Because she wanted to be the one that ends the relationship. Like on Sex and the City. She wanted to be the one that fucking that tells him, I don't want to see you anymore. Okay? But they were the ones doing it to her. And that kind of pissed her off a bit. Okay? Probably more than a bit. All right? But that's what she discovered by being a fucking whore in New York. Okay? And by whore, I mean, she was very selective. She didn't just fuck anybody. She only fucked guys that she was attracted to. Unlike her husband, she only fucked guys that she was attracted to, i.e. she only fucked guys that other women wanted to fuck. Okay? The top 5% of the men. Okay? The big dick rich guys. Okay? The guys that were very socially adept, okay? They knew everybody at every club, okay? They drove expensive cars. They were very popular, okay? Everybody knew who they were. Women were always fighting to get these guys' attention, okay? And that's what she dated. Those are the guys that she had sex with. Not the average guy. Not the other fucking 95% of the men. Just the high-value men. Of course, after they fucking busted their nut in her, they didn't give a shit about her anymore. They got rid of her. And that pissed her off. All right. And all this came from her admitting that she's a fucking whore. She had a 2015 New York Times article she wrote. It was called Confessions of a Seduction Addict. Okay, that's where she confessed to all that bullshit, all right? Okay, so anyway, she married Michael Cooper. Okay, that was her first husband. That's the guy I mentioned, the beta male soy boy cuck that took care of her after she got out of college and all that kind of stuff, supported her. Okay, she married him in 1994. Okay, and where did she meet him? She met him while she was working at Coyote Ugly. Yes. Her first husband was the love interest from Coyote Ugly. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. This is too good. She wrote Coyote Ugly, and the guy that she falls in love with in the movie, that's the guy she married in real life. Now, I have no idea who this guy is. Let me look it up real quick. The movie Coyote Ugly came out in 2000. I'm guessing Adam Garcia's character, okay? He played a guy named Kevin O'Donnell, okay? Kevin O'Donnell sounds nothing like Michael Cooper, but I'm guessing that's who it is. It wasn't Johnny Knoxville's character, and it wasn't John Goodman's character, so yes. Okay, yes, so Adam Garcia, the character he played in Coyote Ugly, okay, because Piper Perabo, she's the one that played Elizabeth Gilbert in Coyote Ugly. I mean, the name she used was Violet Sanford, okay, and the guy that she eventually falls in love with in the movie was played by Adam Garcia. He played a character named Kevin O'Donnell, okay, but these were euphemisms for the author and the man, her first husband, okay, yes. So she married him in 2004. She wrote the Coyote Ugly story. They turned it into a movie, blah, blah, blah. All right. So that was Michael Cooper, her first husband. Okay. And of course, she cheated on him. Okay. She cheated on him with another guy, and she divorced him in 2002. Okay. Okay. And then in 2007, and then she got married again in Bali later on. Okay. So yes, this really happened. Okay, obviously Coyote Ugly was written in the mid '90s, so all the stuff that happens in Eat, Pray, Love hadn't happened to her yet. All right. So anyway, so that's going on here, and then she divorced him. She divorced her first husband, Michael Cooper, after cheating on him, and went to and that's when she went on her Euro trip. Okay. While she was on the Euro trip, she married a guy named Jose Nunez. That's supposed to be the Javier Bardem character that we meet in this movie. Okay, and she married him in 2007 in Bali. Okay, and yes, he was the love interest in this piece of shit movie, Eat, Pray, Love. Okay, the love part. Okay, that's Javier Bardem's character, based on the real life Jose Nunez, who she married in 2007. Okay, I'm not making this up. Okay. Now, the movie came out in 2010, so obviously she did not know what the future holds, okay? But now, it's 2026, we know what the future held for her, okay? It turns out that she left him. She left Jose in 2016. So I guess it wasn't true love after all. Okay, of course she cheated on him. She cheated on him with a woman. Yep, she became lesbian. Wow, none of that was explored in Eat, Pray, Love or Coyote Ugly. But just like Miranda on fucking Sex and the City, late in her life, middle age, she became lesbian. She realized that she likes carpet in her lunchbox, all right? So yeah, so she went fucking lesbo, okay? She cheated on her husband with a chick, okay? The girl's name is Raya Elias. Raya Elias, okay? Yep, she's a lesbian, okay? And they had a fake wedding, okay? Not a legal wedding, but they had like a ceremony wedding, okay? In 2017, that's the year after she divorced Jose. They need to make a sequel. They need to make a sequel to this with what really happened. Okay, so yeah, so she married Raya in 2017. Okay, but unfortunately, Raya had cancer, and she passed away a year later in 2018. Okay, so yes, her lesbian love of her life died on her from cancer. Okay. So what do you do when you have been divorced 3 times, no children, put your writing career first, they turned 2 of your books into movies? What do you do? And now your lesbian wife is dead. Where do you go from here? How do you rebuild your life? Now that you realize you're confident in your sexuality and all that now, and you pulled a Meredith Baxter Burney. That was the mom from Family Ties. She was married to 3 different guys. She even used one of her husband's last name, David Burney. She used that as her name, Meredith Baxter Burney, the whole time she was on Family Ties. And then like in her 50s or 60s, she realized that she was a lesbian and divorced him, and now she's still married to a chick. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what happened here to Elizabeth Gilbert, all right? So what do you do now? Now what do you do? Okay, the love of your life died from cancer. Your lesbian wife died from cancer. What do you do now? Well, it's simple. You start fucking guys again. You start jumping on the pole. That's what you start doing. Because that's what Elizabeth started doing. Okay, yeah, they need to make a sequel to this, man. They really do. I wonder if Julia Roberts would do it. I'd watch it. Okay, yeah, you start riding the cock carousel again. That's what you do, okay? And that's what she did, okay? But she couldn't just fuck any guy now because her standards are so high. She went from, college sweetheart to, exotic, Hispanic man, in Bali, and to lesbian. So now her standards for mating are so high. How's she going to find anyone, to get her off? How's she going to find anyone to really turn her on, to make her come and stuff? Well, she didn't have to look very far because apparently Raya, her lesbian wife, had a male best friend. Yes, I'm not making this up. His name is Simon MacArthur. She started fucking him. So she started a relationship with her dead lesbian wife's best friend. Whew, they need to turn this into a movie. Eat, Pray, Love 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yes, Simon MacArthur, Raya's male best friend, because we all know that lesbians have male best friends. Okay. Sorry. Yes. So like I said, Raya died in 2018, and then she started fucking her best friend Simon MacArthur. In 2019, they went public with their relationship. Okay, unfortunately, remember what I said about what is Elizabeth Gilbert doing now? Okay, and she's living alone with cats. Yes, unfortunately, the relationship, the whirlwind romance with Simon MacArthur was doomed to fail because they broke up in 2020. So it was less than a year. And as far as I know, Elizabeth Gilbert is not in a relationship with anybody. Man or woman, we don't know. I will say this, she hasn't exactly gotten prettier the older she's gotten, okay? No, she has not, okay? She's an old lady now, man. How old is she? Let me look her up, dude. Elizabeth Gilbert, dude. Fucking old. Because this is, just researching this was just hilarious, man. Okay, Elizabeth Gilbert, she's 56 years old. All right, she is 56 years old. Okay, so she wrote some book called All the Way to the River. Who gives a crap? Okay, some lesbo, LGBTQ, whatever the hell crap. Okay, yeah, libtard stuff. Okay, I'm not interested in it. Okay, but I am interested in this movie, okay? So yeah, that's the author. Just so you know, everything I just told you right now, that's the author. That's the woman that created this piece of shit. Okay? So that should give you everything you need to know about the message, about what they're preaching to women. Just look at her own fucking sex life. Okay, that should tell you everything you need to know about what you're in for in this movie, what the message is going to be, what to expect. Okay? All right, this movie was created by Columbia Pictures, but it was released by Sony. Okay, it was directed by a guy named Ryan Murphy. Okay, Ryan Murphy, who is fucking gay as shit. Okay, now, many of you probably don't know who that guy is. I didn't know who it was, but once I did some research, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, Elizabeth Gilbert is not the only problem in this movie, okay? Okay, Ryan Murphy, just researching this guy. Oh my God, this guy is responsible for most of, and I mean this, okay, this guy is responsible for most of the gay and woke shit that you see on streaming shows and on TV. Okay? He's only made a couple of movies, all right? And this is one of them, okay? But he has extensive television work. He's created a lot of shows that you have watched. Have you ever wondered why, past 20, 15 years, they started adding more gay people into stories, like dramas and stuff? They'd be you'd be following a character for 3 seasons, and all of a sudden, he gets fucked in the ass by a guy, and you're just like, what? Where did that come from? I never knew he was gay. It just kind of happened. You ever wonder how that happens, okay? Or some guy will be his ex-wife. He's still in love with his ex-wife, and then one day he tries to win her back, and he catches her having sex with another woman, and you're like, whoa. You ever wonder why that shit's happening in TV shows so much? A hell of a lot more than it was before, pre-2000. You know why? It's because of this motherfucker, Ryan Murphy. Okay, this guy has single-handedly shaped so much of the fucking legacy media, so much of entertainment culture. Okay, whereas like a gay person and shit in a movie used to be an outlier, like not a main member, not a main cast member, but someone out there. There'd be a group of people in one show, and one of them would be gay, but it'd never be the main character. Okay, you see what I mean? He's the guy that started turning it into the main character, being the gay guy or the lesbian or whatever. Okay, or all of a sudden you have a character who's straight, and then all of a sudden he has sex with a dude, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? Okay, well, it came from him, Ryan Murphy. That's where it came from. Okay, the guy's resume is incredible. Okay, he hasn't directed very many. He's only directed 3 movies. Okay, and 2 of them you've never heard of. Okay, one of them the first one he did was called Running with Scissors. Okay, that's just a fucking gay fucking shit. It's supposed to be about a movie about a shrink who adopts a gay boy, and he ends up falling in love with like, I guess the psychiatrist's son or some shit like that. Yeah, it's a coming of age. You know, this teenage kid, you know, who's gay, blah, 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 you know, Annette Bening's in it, so of course it's gay. All right, that came out in 2006. Then he also did The Prom. That was a Netflix movie that came out in 2020. That's also gay shit. It's about a bunch of gay people that decide to go to some like think Footloose, some conservative Bible Belt town that doesn't allow proms, and all these fucking gay people just show up and put on a show, okay? Like a RuPaul Drag Race show, okay? Yeah, that's called The Prom. Yeah, he wrote that piece of shit as well, okay? But none of that, and then of course he did this, okay? Those are his 3 movies, but this is a very small list of his TV shows that he created. He created. That means he was the showrunner. These weren't shows that he worked on. These are shows that he created, and this is a very, very small list of what he's done. Okay? But listen to this. Ryan Murphy, Nip and Tuck. Now, I never watched that show, but a lot of my roommates, my friends watched it, and they loved it. Okay? It's about the plastic surgeons. Okay, I don't know very much. Like I said, I never watched the show, but I know that had like a serial killer on there at one point. And I do know that one of the characters, I think Vince McCone or whoever, the one that passed away last year, okay? His character, I guess he was like the womanizer guy, plastic surgeon. I know he gets like raped by another man. Well, whose idea was that? Okay, that a straight guy got raped by a man. Okay, yes, Ryan Murphy. Okay, the creator of Nip and Tuck. All right, what else? Glee. Yes, Glee. Glee, the singing teenagers, the gay shit. Yeah, that TV show. Yes, he created that as well. What else? American Horror Story. Remember how like every season they always had gay people in there having gay sex? You know, Sarah Paulson, the outspoken lesbian. You had Zachary Quinto, you know, who got fucked in the ass every season. You know, all that. Remember that? Okay, American Horror. Yeah, where do you think that came from? It came from him, Ryan Murphy. Yes, he created American Horror Story. Okay. Basically kept Emma Roberts employed the whole time that show was on. Scream Queens. I never watched that show, but I heard about it. I've seen some commercials for it. That's him. Scream Queens. Feud. Now, I actually did watch Feud. Feud was, the first season was about the real life feud between Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. It was played by Susan Sarandon, played Betty Davis, and what's her name? Jessica Lange played Joan Crawford. Okay, Alfred Molina was in it too. Very good. I actually enjoyed that. Catherine Zeta-Jones had a small part in that. So did Kathy Bates. Okay, it was a very good miniseries. Okay, I love stuff like that, like true fiction. I love that kind of stuff. A dramatization of real events. Okay, I'm a big fan of old Hollywood. You'll notice in my videos, a lot of times I bring up old actors and old directors and stuff. You know, I name drop them and things. You know, because I'm a big fan of the golden age of Hollywood. Okay, and these women were a part of that. They were part of the golden age of Hollywood. So I watched that. I bought that miniseries. I watched it. I've watched it several times. Very, very good. So I'm gonna give Ryan Murphy a thumbs up on that one. That was very good. Okay, Feud. Okay, like I said, it's about the real life feud between Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. It's about the making of whatever happened to Baby Jane. Okay, how was that movie made? What was all the baggage that both of these ladies brought to that studio? Okay, when they made that movie, that's what it's about. And it's very, very good. Okay, so I give him props for that. Okay, yes, of course, it's gay shit, but to me, it wasn't gay. All right, I just watched it to see what the fuck was going on with these Hollywood icons. Okay, what exactly was the root of the feud? Okay, so he did that, and that was pretty good. Now I got to take points away from him now because he also did, yes, you guessed it, All's Fair. Yes, the Kim Kardashian legal show that came out last year, which is now coming out to season 2, where the women are all boss bitches, where Kim Kardashian thinks that she's hot, even though she looks like a fucking trans. Okay, where the women are all gold diggers and they get away with fucking over their rich husbands and cheating on their husbands and getting away with it. And these bitches, these ugly bitches, play the lawyers that help them do that. Yes, All's Fair. That was also created by fucking Ryan gay ass fucking Murphy. Okay, you see what I mean? About how this fucking shit, how it permeated the culture so fucking bad? You want to know where woke came from? This is fucking ground zero right here. And we're still feeling the effects of this motherfucker. My God. And this is just a small list. He's done other. I just don't want to name everything. These are just the ones that I heard about. Okay? Yes. This movie was written by, of course, Ryan Gay-Ass Murphy. Also, there was another writer involved named Jennifer Salt, who was like a failed actress. She was never a big name. She's also a supporting character. Done a lot of fucking TV shows. She never headlined a show. She was never a leading woman, nothing like that, okay? But she helped write this fucking piece of shit script. Of course, we got the star of this movie is Julia Roberts. Yeah, we'll get into her later. She plays the main character named, you guessed it, Elizabeth Gilbert. Okay? Javier Bardem plays Felipe. Okay, who was going to be one of the love interests, okay, later on in the movie. And that's based on the real life, what's his name? Jose Nunez, okay? James Franco plays David, okay, the actor, okay, the Hindu actor, even though he's white, okay? Now, his career is shot to shit because of all the sexual assault allegations on him. He got Me Too'd a long time ago, okay? But back then, when this movie came out, he was still Harry Osborn from the Spider-Man movies, okay? And he plays David, the actor that she has an affair with, okay, while she's still married to her husband. Steven, played by actor Billy Crudup, okay? So she plays her beta male husband, okay, that she cheats on with David, the James Franco's character. And then once the divorce is final, then she doesn't need to be with James Franco's character anymore. That's when she goes off on her little fucking vacation to go fucking discover herself, okay? And then finally we have Viola Davis. Yes, everyone's famous, strong black woman. The only one that Hollywood employs, okay? Viola Davis plays Elizabeth Gilbert's best friend. Her character's name is Delia Shiraz, after the wine. Get it? Shiraz, the wine. Okay, Australian red wine. Yeah. Okay, a black woman who is her best friend because, you know, of course her best friend has to be black because we have to prove that Elizabeth is not racist. You can't have a white woman with a white best friend. No way. It's got to be black. Okay? And that's Viola Davis' character. Of course, she's a strong fucking entitled boss bitch too, married to a ugly fucking fat bald beta male husband. Typical shit. All right? Yes. This movie has glamorized that fucked up a lot of women. Okay? It preached and glamorized selfishness, irresponsibility, fucking around, no accountability for your actions, entitlement, and eating too fucking much. Okay? Career is everything. Motherhood is nothing. All the hallmarks of third wave feminism are in this movie. And that's why it was directed by a fucking gay guy. And written by a woman who can't keep a fucking man, much less need one, right? Okay, yeah. Yes, this is the movie. The next video, we're going to start talking about the movie, okay? And I'm fucking angry. So don't expect some nice fucking reviews here, okay? I sat through this fucking piece of shit. All right. I thank you for watching this long. Real quickly here, it's my channel. This right here, Diego Knows, that knows Diego. Okay, that right there, that is my X. All these videos are going on X. And then Diego De La Vega Knows, this is my Rumble. All these videos go on Rumble as well, okay? Because you know how YouTube is, Google is, and all that kind of stuff, all right? They hate me. All right, anyway, that's the next movie. Eat, pray, love. I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.